Okay.
Okay, it's not taking it. I'll just do it tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm not gonna fumble around.
Shalom, everybody coming into the room. We'll be getting started shortly. Just going to give it a little more time for everybody to come in. It's about 13 people in the room now. So we'll just give it some more time, ladies and gentlemen, and then we can get started.
It's not taking it, so I'm just gonna turn my phone off. I'll just do it tomorrow. All right. I'm gonna bother with it now.
All right, y'all. It's about sundown here. All right. I'm just going to give it a few more minutes and then we'll get started. Oh, you lost your pimp hand? All right, let me give it back to you. Your pimp hand is back. All right. Shalom, family. All right. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. Let's see here. Let's make sure everything's coming through. Okay, look like everything's working pretty well. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so this is really my weekly commentary instead of doing it in a separate video. I'm going to do it today in this Hangout, and we're going to talk. And The first topic is going to be the investigation that's going on in Dallas and Amber Geiger. So it's just some things that have come up about how this week it came out how Dallas police went in there and tried to go on a smear campaign against Botham Shinjan. And we know how the police departments all through this country has a history of doing this to, whenever we die. Now, they suddenly become the victim, and the people that are the real victim that were murdered, they become the guilty. And they have managed to do this switch around thing for a long time, and they have gotten away with it. Now, we know how they went into the apartment and they allegedly found this marijuana and found a black backpack with police gear in it. And a lot of people feel that this evidence was planted by Dallas police, or even it could even be the Texas Rangers. Well, I have a different take on that. I definitely, I believe it was planted as well, y'all. But here's the difference. I believe Amber Geiger did it. I think when she went to that apartment to kill Botham, I believe she had that black backpack, and I believe she had the marijuana with her. I believe it was planted the same night he was shot. That's my opinion. You may have a different opinion on it, but this is how I feel. It would be nice to see some surveillance to see if she was walking down that hallway with a backpack on or even carrying one at the time. But I really believe the same night she went into his house, she planted that stuff in there. Why would Botham have a black backpack with police gear in it? He was not a cop. It doesn't make any sense for him to have something like that in his apartment. Okay? But it would make sense for somebody like Amber Geiger, who had full access to that apartment alone with him when he was shot and bleeding out on the floor. She had ample time to put that backpack and that marijuana in without anybody else in that apartment watching her. Now, as far as the police going in there finding it, I think after she turned herself in, she told those cops where that stuff was. I really do. I think she put it there and she tipped the cops off on where it was. And at that point, they had advised her to move out of those apartments. So, you may all feel different. You may feel that when the cops investigated, that's when they found it. But I really think she did the whole thing. But it just sounds too, it just sounds too fishy. And look at all the inconsistencies in her story. Is it really far-fetched that she was the one that planted the evidence too? I don't think that, at this point, I don't think we should rule out anything. Yeah, I saw that video too, Brown Skin Queen. I saw that video too of him with his group, and then he was praying, and yeah, I saw that. I just think, number one, what bothered her more than anything else, there was a black man living above her. And we know what kind of family she comes from. She came from hardcore racists. And I think it just bothered the hell out of her that this black man was living in an apartment above her. And that just got to her. You know, remember, it don't take much to push a racist over the edge. It really doesn't. It is a very easy thing to do. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But what kills me is she claims she went to the wrong apartment, and they said in that parking garage, the fourth floor of the parking garage does not even have a roof. So if you park on that fourth floor of the parking garage, it's open. You see nothing but open sky. So how can you mistake that for you thought you were at your apartment? You know where you were parked should have indicated to you that you weren't on the right floor. Yes, True Royal, I saw that. She actually was also security for that building, y'all. She was not just a cop, she was also that building security. And that probably explains why when I played that 911 tape with the fire department, they kept saying the security shot the patient. The security shot the patient. Now I know why they kept saying security, because she was actually security for the building that's now coming out. You know, so that says a lot, y'all. You know, she just didn't do a good enough job covering her ass. Hi, Craig J. She didn't do a good enough job covering her ass. You know, you can tell, you know, she was just your typical run of the mill high IQ dummy when you really listen to what she had to say. Well, you see what they're doing, right? I saw what you wrote, KD. You know, you see what they're doing, right? This police chief is claiming she can't fire her. Okay? Now that doesn't make any kind of sense. You know, the police chief seems to be one of those black people with a big title and no power. That's what she seems like. You and we've all seen them before in our lives, you know, the black person with the big fancy title. And when you really look at them and see how they function, they have no real true power. You know, they have no power. No power. And she's claiming that she can't fire Amber Geiger. So she's getting a lot of protection from the police. There's no doubt about it. Well, yeah, first of all, I'm having a hard time believing the door was propped, and those doors slam automatically. So, propped with what? And who sits in their apartment with all the lights out and the door propped? Does that even make sense to anybody? I don't know anybody that sits in, got all the lights turned off in their house or their apartment, but they got the door propped open. People don't do that. You know, she must really think someone is stupid. Nobody does that. No, I don't believe it was open until he got up and opened the door. You know, I do believe he opened the door. I don't believe the door was propped. She knocked on that door just like the neighbors heard her knocking on the door. He got the door, and right shortly after he opened the door, she shot him. And they said one of the bullets went right in his chest. Yeah, you know, Mark C, I would not be surprised if she got off scot free. It's not like we haven't seen it before. We have seen this in many, many, many police shooting cases. In fact, damn near all of them. Yeah, she was complaining. They said even that same day that he was shot, that she complained about the noise. Which means he was probably playing music in his apartment like a lot of young people his age do. What 26-year-old do you know don't play music? They all do. Well, he had no way of knowing what was going on. It was nighttime, and if he had all the lights out, that means he was in bed or trying to go to sleep. So, I mean, for us to say, well, he shouldn't have answered the door, he wouldn't have had no way of knowing that. I mean, no, none of us would. We can't blame him for that. He didn't do anything wrong. He's not the guilty party in this whole thing. She is. Me, I can excuse what he did. He did not know what was going on. But she planned a murder and she carried out the murder. That's what happened. She planned it and she carried out the murder. Yeah, I believe that weed came from her. True Royal. Like I said, when she went in that apartment after she shot him, she went all the way in that apartment and she put that backpack and that weed in there. I believe all of that came from Amber Geiger. Yeah. I mean, look, he didn't know. And I'm sure, he could have even thought it was one of his neighbors, somebody that lived next door to him that was knocking. You know, we just got to understand he's a grown man. He's not going to be as reluctant to answer the door. He's a man that pretty much knew how to defend himself. But, the devil plays dirty. We know that. Well, I don't know why she would do that. I mean, really think about it. Does anything that she has done up until now make any sense? I wouldn't even be surprised when all this is said and done, you'll find out her ass got a drug problem. I would not be surprised. I thought about that. A lot of people, Darlene B, were saying they thought the cops planted the drugs, but who was really in that apartment alone? After she shot him, he was probably out completely, being shot in the heart. It's not like he could stop her from planning or leaving a backpack in the apartment. It's not like he could get up and stop her after being shot in the heart. He couldn't get up and stop her, so she could literally put anything she wanted to leave in that apartment. But I just find it fascinating how by the time they searched that apartment, she had already moved out. Like I said, I believe she and the cops already had that whole thing planned out. That they would wait until she moved out, go in there, investigate his apartment, find the weed, find the backpack, and then come to the media and try to tarnish his name. Because they done did that to everybody. Especially our people. They can't wait to get in front of the media and just start trashing us to the media, talking about you got suspended in school and you talk back to your teacher, you hit some little girl in the 5th grade, and it's ridiculous. All right. Shabbat shalom to everybody coming into the chat. Yeah, Leslie, she had plenty of time to do whatever she wanted after she shot him. She could do whatever she wanted in that apartment. But I still don't understand how she's under investigation and she got to move out of an apartment. You would think they would not let her move until the full investigation was over. And, and I agree with Botham Jean's mother when she said, well, did you check Amber Geiger's apartment? Did you check her car? Did you check her out? All we're hearing is that they checked his apartment. We don't hear anything about what he checked, what the police checked as far as she's concerned. And how do you move during an investigation? That's what I want to know. That crime took place at that apartment building. How does she get to move and clear out that apartment, clear out all evidence, anything that she could have had in there, and just up and leave? So I'm just telling you, she and the cops, they got this whole thing planned out. And it's just like she went into another county to surrender, turn herself in. But she didn't turn herself in Dallas County where she was living. The shooting took place in Dallas, but she went to another county to turn herself in. Like I said, that's probably why she called her partner. And her partner is probably the one that told her to wait and turn yourself in over at another county. It's just too orchestrated, too planned out. Yeah. Unfortunately, when I listened to the judge the other day, who was, oh my God, I was repulsed. And then you listen to the police chief talking about, well, I can't fire her. I don't know, y'all. I just think everybody is helping her. It doesn't matter if it's a white or black Dallas police officer. I think they're all helping her. And this is exactly why I will say this again. This is why nobody like or trust cops. Look at what has happened, y'all. She took out an innocent man. Where's the good cops? Where's these alleged good cops that we keep hearing about, but we don't see them when these things are happening? Where's the good cops to speak up and try to set the record straight? Where are they? Okay. In my opinion, it doesn't matter if it's a white or black cop. They all seem to be on her side. No, it's not a terrible accident. You go to somebody's apartment, you kill them, and then she said she gave commands, but there's witnesses that said they didn't hear no commands. That's why I think as soon as he opens that door, she just started firing away. There was no dialogue at all. And what I want to know is, where's the surveillance in that building? How come we don't see no surveillance of her walking down the hall? We don't see none of her getting out of her car. We see nothing. Where's the surveillance in that building? You don't see they have not released one tape of her entering or leaving that apartment building. I find that odd. Well, the only thing the property manager did was just announce that she had moved out. She left the premises. That's really the only information we ever heard from them. Yeah, she could have, Cheryl Ruth. She could have disabled them, but there's no, I just find it awfully strange how that building just has nothing outside. You don't even see anybody coming into the building. That just doesn't make any sense. I don't understand why they didn't even leave. Even if they didn't want a security guard, you would think they would have surveillance around that apartment building. I mean, look, what if this incident didn't happen and somebody just wanted to go there and rob a few apartments? You wouldn't have no footage of them entering or leaving. That's just strange. You're right, light bearer. She should have had a body cam on. But then again, she didn't. It's not like she was following procedures. Shabbat shalom, August Dream. Yeah, that place didn't look too old. That looked like a pretty recent kind of apartment. It did not look like something from, 18 throwback or anything like that. Well, yeah, I believe there's something to her affiliation with a white supremacist group. She was awfully fast. The same day that she killed Botham Jean, she scrubbed the internet of her social media accounts the same day. Come on. You know, again, that's just the police and the Texas Rangers helping her. Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing they spent all that money on getting those doors that close, but they don't have any surveillance. That's very odd. So here we go. The police chief claims she is prohibited from firing Amber Geiger. Well, what is Amber Geiger? I mean, look, she was a cop on the force for 4 years and she got that kind of power. She got the kind of power to the point where the police chief can't even fire her. Seriously. I just came to the conclusion this police chief is just a little sorry nobody. Really, who is she if you can't even fire a lower level cop? I mean, come on. Well, yeah, but even more coonish than her was that judge, that black judge that was standing there with the family and the attorneys. Now, that was a coon. I mean, seriously, she was definitely the ultimate coon. Well, Francis, all they do is go from one police department to the next. And it's really your most corrupt cops are the ones that are moving around the most. But a police chief that's not allowed to fire a lower level police officer. I didn't heard it all. Yeah, well, it goes back to what I was saying. She doesn't have no power. Like many black people, unfortunately, across this country, they may have a prestigious sounding title, but they really don't have any more power than somebody like Amber Geiger. They're not going to let her have any power. The good old boys will always be in the background trying to control things. That's why I would never want those kind of promotions. If I can't have any say in what I want done, then what's the point in having the position? Yeah, you may have a little bit of coins more than someone else, but you have no real true power when these kind of things happen. And right now, out of the Dallas Police Department, all I see is them protecting Amber Geiger. I don't see them doing anything for Botham in this whole thing. It's the same thing we see all the time. Cops, the police unions, the police, and everybody is rallying around and helping this demon, Amber Geiger. But one thing, I'm glad the mother did not start up all that "I forgive you" stuff. I think if I would have heard that one more time, I'm just going to fall over and die. I can't bear to hear that from any more Black people. I'm sorry, I just can't. But at least she called her exactly what she is, a devil. And that's exactly what she is. Have you heard of fusion centers? Yes. Yeah, well, like you said, what can you expect from the slave patrol, y'all? That's all they are. I mean, look, no defense, but Texas, when it comes down to Black folks, they have a horrible reputation. They've always had one. I'm not surprised about how this thing is going. This is going the same way that we've seen it happen in New York and in other places when these murders take place, and how the police officer is very much well protected. Okay. Now, I want to talk about the incarcerations that go on in America, because I've had people that still insisting that in this country they're not doing these things to Black people that we know damn well they are doing. So now this is an article that came out in the Huffington Post at the end of December of last year. 32 people spending their lives in prison for non-violent crimes. And a lot of this are drugs. And they're spending the rest of their life behind bars. And here's another one. Life in prison for selling $20 of weed. A life sentence for $20 in weed. We know what we're talking about when we say, these things are happening. We know what the hell we're talking about. We are not saying this stuff for no reason. They are putting mainly our men behind bars for some of the most meager crimes on the face of the earth. But this just spells how badly everything in this place is so corrupt, it's not funny. I heard this was probably a few months back, maybe even last year. I heard Tariq Nasheed. I just happened to pop into one of his videos, and he was doing this debate with these white supremacists. And he had brought up the fact that Black men are getting astronomical sentences for nonviolent drug crime. And they said, oh, you don't have no proof of that. And I said, all he should have done at that moment was just go on the internet and Google it. And he would have been able to put all of it up in his face, in their faces. But he didn't do it. See, I would have, because I know these articles are out there, and it's a lot of them too. A lot of them. We're not making this stuff up. They can chuckle and laugh when we say it all they want. This is all too real for the Black community. Okay? And this is why, when we see stuff like this, this is why we're always calling for our separation. And when we start talking about separation, then they get all upset and don't understand why we're trying to get away from them. But this is the very thing, one of many things and reasons why we know your system is corrupt and we know you're full of shit, giving these astronomical sentences. And you know damn well they don't give sentences like this to white people in this country. We know they don't get these kind of sentences. Yeah, well, the coons, that's a whole different subject matter, KD. And that's definitely something I will be touching on in the near future. There's a lot of things going on, and some people are just so far gone. There's nothing you can do. It's really nothing we can do but separate from the coons and separate from our enemies. The coons are our enemies too, so they can be lumped in with them. I don't care. That's the way I see it. But the bottom line is, yesterday I had a situation, and this was not everybody. I had, just a handful of people that were trying to come over to my comment section, and they thought they were going to persuade me to just go out on this verbal war and attack on Dr. Mumby. Now, if I have something to say to her, I will say it. Okay? But if you're upset over anything that she said, then I think the appropriate thing for you to do is address it with her. Now, one of them said, well, I did write, she don't answer me, but that's not my problem. Now, what does that have to do with you coming over here? If she's not answering you, what do you want me to do? I can't make Dr. Mumby speak to you. She's a grown woman. Okay? So it's still stupid that you're coming over here and getting all upset because Dr. Mumby is not responding to you. That's not my problem. What does that got to do with me? So we have some people that are probably more lost than anything else. So me, like I said, if I have an issue with her, I will address that issue. Plain and simple. I have, verbally spoken, not verbally spoken, but I have spoken, to Dr. Mumby, and she's responded to me, and I've responded back to her. But I just don't want people coming over here where this whole incident didn't take place on my channel. So I don't understand why you're here, and you need to address Dr. Mumby. All right. So do I agree with everything that Dr. Mumby said? No, I don't agree with everything anybody says. I understood where she was coming from. I just think maybe it could have been verbalized a little better. But as far as me, being dragged into this fight, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. In time, this will either be addressed or it won't. But one thing I can honestly say, no. Do I agree with everything? No. But I understand why she did it. It was a lot of people in her comment section, you know, that she felt were kind of unruly. Now, as far as her guests are concerned, to be honest with you guys, I don't know much about them. You know, in fact, I didn't even know about O'Shea Duke until somebody told me about him. I'm not subscribed to that man. I don't really watch his videos. So, I can only go on what people have told me about him, but I have never been subscribed to O'Shea Duke's channel. So I don't even know how to comment on that because I haven't watched many of his videos. And the same thing for Woda um, Maya. I don't subscribe to him. I have never been a subscriber to either one of those men. So it was not until people told me about him that's when I started learning who he was. But prior to that, I never followed him. I never watched any of his videos. Nothing. Yeah, I've heard the same thing. Antoine Woods. I heard the same thing about him. But like I said, I have never watched any of his videos. I have never been his subscribers. I have never been to his hangout. So I really didn't know what kind of person he was until people told me. Yeah, and Woda Maya, never even heard about him until I saw him on Dr. Mumby's video. And that was the first time I ever heard about him. But as far as him dating a Chinese woman, no, I don't agree. I think there are a lot of beautiful Black women on that continent that he could have been with. Why a Chinese woman? But he made that choice. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? We have seen what happened to swirlers in this nation. Many of them end up dead. We have seen this, even just being here in this country. We have seen that. Well, Katie, I don't know, but I have seen, I know the Radical Home Goddess have done numerous videos on her over the last few days. And I saw a couple of other people do videos, and I don't know. I just think that it's much easier to address her if you don't like what she said. I mean, she's not the one swirling. It's Woda Maya. He's the one that's swirling. And unfortunately, we have seen just from experience a swirling man is a conquered man. Okay, he's already conquered. I'm not gonna lie, I've been on Hangouts and I've heard people talk about O'Shea Duke, but like I said, I have never been his subscriber. Yeah, yeah. I wish him the best, but history shows things don't end well for swirlers. I mean, that's what the history shows. We've all seen it. Yeah, I like I said, I think I would have, even if I had an issue with people in my comment section, I think I would have been more inclined to address those people specifically. I don't think I would have addressed it as a broad statement to all African Americans. I don't think I would have done that. but we all express things differently, and um, Galea, thank you so much for that. As far as how we're raised, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. All of us in America were not raised bad. We weren't. Some people were. I mean, there's no point in lying. There was a lot of people in our community that were raised by jacked up parents, but as a whole, no. All of us definitely were not raised bad. That's not true. But I mean, I understand where she was coming from, how she expressed it. Yeah, I think it could have been expressed differently. you know I mean, if you really think about it, we can question things in the same way. Look at all the Africans that come to this country and don't even speak to us and don't even try to interact or be nice to the Black community. And when they have something to say, it has just as much as venom in it as those people wrote in her comment section. And we know this too. So I mean, so who raised them? Who raised a lot of these Africans that come here and have nothing to do with us? Who raised them? So I mean, we can kind of turn that question around too. But I didn't want to get into the fight, ladies and gentlemen, because we got too much division on social media already. I just didn't feel it was appropriate for me to pile it on and start acting as if, you know, I didn't want to get in the midst of another battle between Black people on social media. I think, thank you, Mark C. I think there are better ways of handling this whole thing than us just getting on video after video after video being nasty and venomous to each other. There's better ways to handle it. And I just think that, we got to learn how to dialogue with each other a lot better and not let the enemy see so many divisions that are happening between us. Now, some people, I had the one person that I had to kick out was talking about she's a Hamite. Why am I saying shalom to a Hamite? Well, first of all, that's not necessarily true. I would have to find out more about Dr. Mumby, of course. The Bantus are in Kenya that live there, and the Bantus are Israelites. So we can't say that, she's not part of those tribes that are Israelites that are in Kenya. Our people live in many places throughout Africa. It's not only in the West. I mean, it was a lot of us in the West, but there are certainly Israelite people that are living in the East. That's right, Francis. The Bantus are in Kenya has a lot of Bantus, and they are Israelites. So we can't just say somebody is a Hamite. We don't know that unless we learn more about that person. You can't eyeball somebody like that and just tell. The Igbo, Ibo, Igbo, Hebos. And we know the Bantus are also our people. The Zulus are our people. Just look it up. It's Bantu, and just type in Bantus and type in Israelites, and it'll give you the information on them. The Bantus, right? The Ashantis are our people too. That's right, Cameron. That's right. The Ashantis, the Zulus are our people. We have a lot of tribes over there that are Israelites. That's why I don't always dive into the conversations about us being down on the people there, because I don't want to talk down on the folks that are our people. The Watutsis. You know, we have a lot of people over there that's our family. You know, of course, you don't want to move to Africa and be surrounded by Hamites. We got enough headaches already. You want to make sure you're around our people when you get there. Well, I mean, I understood. I didn't get too offended because I understood that she was really addressing the people in her comment section. So I did not take it to heart like some other people did. Some people really did get upset by her words. But me, I was just able to discern it to the point where I understood she was really exclusively addressing the people in the comment section. So I did not go off in no tangent, getting all upset about what she said. You know, I didn't write anything disrespectful in her comment section, and I knew she was not talking to me. You know, and I mean, like I said, you know, I saw somebody else write something about O'Shea. I seriously did not know much about him, y'all. I didn't. I'm not a subscriber. You can even look at his channel now. You will not find me listed as a subscriber. I seriously did not know much about him until when I looked in her comment section and I saw the things people were writing, and I realized something was wrong because most of the responses to him were very negative. And that right there sent off a light bulb. You know, I was, like I said, I was not aware of what kind of person he was. Okay, just me. You said O'Shea is cool. Katie O'Shea, big black woman hater. Okay. All right, y'all. I mean, look, y'all teaching me stuff. Because like I said, I don't have much to go on when it comes down to him. All right, he lives in Europe. Okay. Mm-hmm. Do you know the Garden of Eden is in Uganda? The Garden of Eden actually runs through there. A lot of people don't realize that. We are very much connected to that land, more than you can ever imagine. Okay, O'Shea started his channel off of degrading black women. Unfortunately, you know what? That seems to be a real popular thing, especially if you want to grow your channel fast. You talk bad about your people and your channel will explode on YouTube. And number two, you don't have to worry about anybody taking you off of YouTube because you're safe. Crystalline Karazan made fun of O'Shea Duke. Well, somehow I'm not surprised about that. There's Israelites in Uganda too. You know, we're in East Africa as well. We're not, I mean, we always talking about West Africa, but our people are also in East Africa. Yeah, you know, I understand. But I think we have to get to the point where we get past a lot of our issues because we are in our final days. And the one thing that we must do is we got the upcoming holidays coming. You know, I haven't done my fasting. I'll be doing my fasting and my atonement um, Sunday evening into Monday evening. And I'm not going to be doing videos. And that was another thing I wanted to say to y'all. My time of atonement, that's going to be strictly my time with the Most High. And I will not be doing videos during that whole time of my fasting. You know, after I'm done, yes, I will put videos up, but that time of atonement is very important to me. And it's very important that I devote those full 24 hours with the Most High, atoning for my sins and praying for our deliverance. I want to be delivered from this place, and I'm going to be praying for that too. So I just want you to know that, you know, I will be praying for all of us during the time of my atonement with the Most High. Mm-hmm. No videos. You got to prepare for a dry spell. It's only 24 hours. I think you'll be okay. I think you'll be okay. Okay, King Hebrew, you did a 3-day fast. See, there you go. But no, it's just a time that I think I need to give that time to the Most High exclusively. You know, it's only 24-hour period. Once that time period is over, I'll be back, you know, and just keep it rolling on the videos. Yes, I'm doing Sunday into Monday for my fast. And I do mine according to the Enoch calendar. I realize a lot of people go by the Gregorian calendar. If that's what you want to go by, you go by whatever you're comfortable with. But I go according to the Enoch calendar. So my Day of Atonement, I just really want to make that about the Most High and my real true atonement to Him. Shabbat Shalom, Brenda. Yeah. Unfortunately, Anthony, a lot of people got to go to work. You know, in this Gentile society, this is just the way it is. Absolutely. I definitely understand that. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Fasting is excellent. Do you know that's the best way to heal yourself? That is the best way to heal yourself is fasting. You know, especially if someone tells you you have cancer or anything, if you just go into a 30-day fast, you can literally get rid of your own cancer without any chemo or radiation. And a lot of people do that, you know, especially if they don't want to be subjected to all that harsh radiation and chemo that you got to go through. If you fast, it will, everything will disappear. You know, the Most High tells us how to heal ourselves. We just got to take advantage and do it. Plain and simple. But that's all I wanted to say. You know, I hear where you guys are coming from on the Dr. Mumby thing, and I just wanted to make that clear. I didn't want you to think that I just went along with everything, because I didn't. And thank you, Daph. And I just want you to understand, you know, I think it was just all in the way she expressed it. But like I said, I was able to discern she was not talking to everybody. She was talking primarily to the people in the comment section. So don't take offense to it, especially if you weren't making derogatory comments in, you know, her comment section. Then don't take offense to it. Plain and simple. Okay, Antoine Wood, I started doing it recently and I lost 12 pounds. Good for you. Good for you. Yeah, yeah, we do, and plus, look, this is a real special time, and that's another reason why I was trying to refrain from everything because look, we're going through another very special time in our Hebrew calendar. Why ruin that with all this fighting? That stuff can wait. This is the time to think about the Most High. We have tabernacles. We, you know, I don't know about you, but I look forward to the day when we're in the kingdom and we're in our tents again, just like our ancestors were. That's what they did. They went into tents during that whole time period. I want to be able to do that. I want to go into the kingdom and enjoy all of that stuff and get into our holidays and see everybody like we're supposed to. We have not experienced our holidays in a correct manner yet. And I really want that for us. I want us to one day come together as one big family. All the tribes come together and we do these things together, just like we're supposed to in the kingdom. All of our holidays won't go away. We're still going to be celebrating all of these same holidays because these holidays are forever. Let's put the Most High first. The Dr. Mumbi situation, that can wait. I hear you, Anthony. So do I. Yeah. We got 1,000 years of rest. And I'm looking forward to that 1,000 years of rest because we have been beaten down to a pulp in this society. Yes. So I'm going to refrain from a lot of things on my 24 hours. And like I said, I'm going to get into my Bible and praying and just getting through the day the best that I can. I'm just doing the regular no food, no water. Yes. All right, y'all. Well, I'm glad we got to come together and do this hangout. I hope we're all walking away with at least some better understanding about everything. And let's stay focused on the Most High for the next, through this holiday, especially the atonement, y'all. Well, no, Kim, if you take medicine, you make sure you take care of yourself first. The Most High understands if you can't do a full fast. You just do the best that you can. If it's medication that you need, make sure you take your meds. The Most High is not going to be angry at you over that. Some people are in situations where they have to take care of themselves because of a certain ailment or something. You may have an autoimmune disease, you may have high blood pressure, diabetes. You got to take care of yourself. So if you have to take medication, you take your medication. You just do the best that you can. The Most High is not going to be angry at anybody that is dealing with a medical situation. So tomorrow I'll set up another hangout because we still have to get through the book of Jasher. So that we can definitely do. Yeah, fasting is always a beautiful thing. That fasting and praying gets you very close with the Most High, because you're relying on Him to get you through that whole time period of when you are afflicting yourself and going without food and water. You're going to need to lean on the Most High during that time. That's not always the easiest thing to do. So I want to thank you all for coming to my commentary. And I'll probably set the hangout somewhere between 3 and 4 o'clock tomorrow. And we'll just pick up from where we left off in the book of Jasher. It's going to take us a while to get through this one because it's like 13 hours. So we'll just break it down and just keep inching our way through. But you all enjoy the rest of your Shabbat. If you haven't started your Shabbat yet, you will be soon, on the West Coast. Shabbat Shalom. And those of you that are on the East Coast, Shabbat Shalom. And in Central America, you're on Central Time. Shabbat Shalom to you. And on that note, I'm going to just see you guys tomorrow. Peace, family.